reflection on the distinction between what is permanent in life and what is not permanent. And a person who understands this is able to just pick on what is permanent. You might say, but everything is permanent. No, in fact, everything is impermanent. Then next you'll say, oh, does that mean that I can't enjoy the world? No, there's a story, there's a parable of a kingdom in which there was an old king who had no heirs. See, I can see the relief in you. If philosophy comes, you're ill at ease. The moment a story comes, all of you relax. So here was a king who didn't have an heir and he wanted to retire. He wanted to appoint the heir to the kingdom. So he didn't know how to do it, and suddenly he came upon a brilliant idea. He said, he advertised in all the newspapers in the state that from the 1st to the 31st of December, now we're in October, right? There's going to be a huge amusement park, bang in the middle of the city, which will be open to all citizens. Every citizen of the state can go and gain free entry into that amusement park. And all you have to do is, the first person who spots me, the king, in that amusement park will become the next king. Everyone thought it was so simple because everyone knew what the king looked like. It's like saying spot President Obama, you'll become the next president of the United States. Everyone knows what he looks like. So, the first few days people thronged to that amusement park, confident that they would be able to spot the king. But what they didn't bargain for was the fact that this amusement park was so tantalizing, so attractive, so captivating, that they all entered and they got involved in some show or the other, some game or the other, some amusement or the other, and completely forgot that they had entered the place only to find the king. Before they knew what was happening, it was 10 p.m., time to shut, they had to leave. This happened over and over again. 30th of December came. The king was so dejected. He said, I gave these guys such a simple thing. I thought first day itself I would hand over to the future king, the next king. But it looks like nobody seems to be able to do a simple thing like this. Then on the last day, New Year's Eve, 31st of December, there's this bright young man who walked into the amusement park. He went through every single show that there was, every single game that there was. He enjoyed himself thoroughly, but with one difference. And that one difference was what? He never forgot that he had entered the place only to find the king. And so in and through his enjoyment, in and through his interactions with the people around him, he was constantly on the lookout for the king. And it was close to shutting down time. The sun had already set. And he had gone through the entire place. He was tired and he sat down on the ledge and he was about to conclude that this king has played a huge hoax on us, a scam. What? He's not here. Because he was confident that he had looked everywhere. Just then, he heard temple bells. And he looked in a corner of that property. And he suddenly realized that was the only place that was, number one, a permanent structure. Everything else was like an exhibition ground. And that was the only place in which he had not looked for the king. So he went there. When he went there, he saw there was a temple there. And the pujari was doing the evening aarti. So out of respect, he waited for the aarti to get over. The moment the arti was over, he didn't get carried away by the arti either. He tapped the pujari on the shoulder and he said, "My friend, please turn around." And there was the king. So what do you have to do? You have to do what this young man did. Remember that you've entered the world only to find the king, that which is permanent. This doesn't mean that you don't enjoy yourself in the world. You can go around the whole world, enjoy yourself thoroughly, interact with people around you like anyone else. But with one difference. Don't ever forget that you were born in this world only to find your own kingship and to claim your monarchy. You were never born to be a subject here. You were born to be king. As long as you remember that, you are practicing what? Jnana Yoga, knowledge. You don't need knowledge of the Gita, you don't need knowledge of the Upanishads, you just need to be focused on permanence. How do I get that permanence? In the Kenopanishad, the student goes to the Guru and says, looks for this. What is permanent in life? Where is God? What is God? What is the definition of God? And the Guru answers. See, because when we say look for the permanent, you will say, where is the permanent? And the Guru answers in such simple words, but they're words that are mind-boggling. And what does he say?
Shrotrasya shrotram manaso mano yadvacho havacha sa pranasya pranaha chakshushaschakshuratimuccha dhira pretyasma lokadamruta bhavanti.
Shrotrasya shrotram, ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the eye of the eye, the pranas of the prana, so on and so forth. What do you understand from this? When you hear, like you're hearing now, what is it that really hears? Is it your outer ear? Is it your middle ear? Is it your inner ear? As you trace back the hearing, even and the most brilliant ENT specialist will come to the conclusion, beyond a point he'll say, I don't know what makes me hear. That I don't know is God. Is you. So where do you look for it? You don't go looking for it in a temple, church or mosque. You don't go to Amarnath and Manas Sarovar and don't waste your time there. All you have to do is, as you are, where you are, just turn the focus of your attention. When you hear sound, what happens? Your attention goes to the source of that sound. Right? Instead, that is what he's saying, avritta chakshu, inward eye. Whatever be the quality of the sound that you hear, pleasant, unpleasant, spiritual, non-spiritual, whatever it is, turn the focus of your attention on that which makes me hear. And then you'll be instantly, that moment, you are in an island of peace and tranquility. I practiced that this morning. After studying, you wake up at 4 and then you're struggling with these ideas. You go out for a walk on Marine Drive, and first thing you hear is somebody speaking loudly. And normally you say, oh, why can't you keep quiet? But today, I was so thrilled at hearing that loud sound, because the louder the sound, the greater is your satisfaction, because it's a reminder of that power within you that enables you to hear, which is God. That's how you look for the permanent. So, God is that which makes you see, hear, smell, taste, touch. God is that which enables every emotion in you to come up. God is that which enlivens every thought that flits through your intellect. God is that factor that is so intimately connected with you, and yet you say, where is God? I don't know. And that is knowledge, that's seeking within. When you embark on this journey, what happens? You have a clear understanding of the world. There are no unreasonable expectations, so you are never frustrated in life. You understand the world for what it is, not what you imagine it to be. And at the end of the day, what you see is in and through the differences. Like hearing and seeing and smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, feeling, emotions are all different. But that power which enables you to do all of this is one. So you zero in on that unity in diversity. This is called a sattvic intellect. Again, this is one of the most extraordinary contributions of the Indian culture and Vedanta to the world. The rest of the world hasn't even understood it, and we are just about getting there. Sattvic intellect is in such, intellect itself is in short supply. Sattvic intellect is non-existent. And so it becomes our responsibility to cultivate that sattvic intellect ourselves and help develop that, cultivate it in others as well. So, to put it briefly, when you get this knowledge, Jnana Yoga, you develop a sharp intellect, you become successful in the world, because all that makes for success is clarity of thinking. That's all you need. You are happy because you have no unreasonable expectations of the world. You have no expectations of the world. It's complete and total disinterest in the world. And you evolve because you're anchored in the thought of the permanent. And so all desires pertain to the world. When you're not interested in the world, your desires go. And that's how you evolve spiritually. In order to cultivate this knowledge, you must focus on inner transformation, not mere information. You must focus less on speaking about it, more on living it. You take up one idea and put it into practice. Experiment with it, test it out in your own life, find it to be true, and that's how you move. And then you become silent to the world, as the Upanishad says, Anya vacho vimunchatha amrutasya setuhu. Resist from all other talk, become indifferent to everything else, because you're totally engrossed, absorbed in the thought of reality. And you become intent on the transcendental. So this journey within, which includes Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga, takes you from the state of shunyata, where you believe there is nothing, there is an emptiness within, to the state of purna, where you are totally, completely fulfilled. Paripurna, in fact, they call it. So then you become Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta. Nitya, Shuddha, ever pure, ever illumined, Buddha. Nitya, Mukta, you're always free. You may be in the midst of the world, you may be transacting with the world, you may be living like anybody else, but within yourself you are liberated. And you become Paramatma, from Atma to Paramatma. So with this, we move now with the verses. Verse